So today we're going to talk about how I end my workday so that the following day I'm super productive right from the get-go. This method has worked for me like pretty much 99% effectively for the past 5 years, and it's very easy, so I just want to show you. So maybe an hour before the end of my workday, I'll start to compile a list of tasks that I didn't accomplish that day, things that I need to do tomorrow. And sometimes this list is, 5, 10 things. This brain dump really helps me to turn off my brain at the end of the workday, because rather than stressing about every little thing and thinking about it, after work, after dinner, I know that it's all listed out in my journal, so at least it's documented somewhere and I don't have to store it in my brain. I label it with the next day's date, so even though it seems intimidating that I have 10 different things that I need to do the following day, I close my journal and I end my workday. Now, the following day, very first thing I do when I get into the office, I look at my list, I determine, prioritize top 3 things, and I just number them 1, 2, and 3. Now, there's a reason I don't pick my top 3 things the night before, and I'll tell you why. I've found that I feel really accomplished when the first task that I have in the morning is to actually rank and prioritize the top 3 things that I need to work on. I have a fresh brain, I can think a little bit more clearly, and I can probably realize that some of the things I thought were super urgent the previous day might not be as urgent or as much of a priority as, other things are. Everything else on that list is optional. I just know that the top 3 things are super critical, and I have a few rules about what I pick as my top 3. So my top 3 have to kind of fit into a certain criteria. One of them at least has to help me reach one of my personal quarterly goals. So say I have a goal to build 6 courses or something, or publish a learning path, then at least one of my top 3 things that I pick for that day have to help me push my way towards that goal. And the reason is because a lot of times we prioritize other people's work because they come and they're super urgent and they're like, oh my God, this has to get done. But it's because it's their goal and they need to get their goal done. But you also have to get your goal done. So make sure in your top 3 priorities for the day, you're prioritizing yourself, at least for one of those top 3 things you're gonna be doing that day. Another thing that I like to think of when I'm prioritizing the top 3 things is something that's gonna, I wanna make sure that I'm also including something that has a big impact on the team, or at least my immediate team, or pushes the needle for the business in some way. Just because, you wanna make sure you're moving the needle, so make sure that you're getting something done that is useful. And the third top 3 thing is totally up to your judgment. Maybe there's something you've been really wanting to work on, or you've promised to someone else, you need to review someone's content or whatever, then that can obviously be number 3, because you want to be a good teammate and you want to help others. So that's kind of how I think about my top 3. Now, anything remaining is bonus points, I guess, in my head, and if I can accomplish those, then, if I can accomplish the rest of the 7 things, then that's great. But if not, I can just move them over to the next day and, do the same process over and over again. Now, if I find that I've moved something 5 times and I see it on my list 5 days in a row where I've moved it along because I'm either don't have time, it's not a priority, blah, 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 that's when I will either see if I can deprioritize it for the quarter, meaning I'm not working on it at all this quarter, or I can see if, there's someone else that has the capacity to work on it, or I try to force myself to have it be in the top 3 for one of those days. I think this idea has also really worked for me because I like having tangible tasks that I need to do for the day. So I'm not spending a lot of time ramping up the day, just trying to figure out what I need to do for the day. I can, accomplish my first task of actually ranking, prioritizing what I need to work on, and then I can just get to work. I do this while I'm drinking my coffee, and it's just kind of nice and peaceful, but I'm also feeling very accomplished. This honestly has helped me get my day started, and I feel more productive, and I can know what to focus on. And I've made a thoughtful, really intentional choice of what I need to work on and why. So yeah, that's how I end my workday and then start my following workday, so that I am kind of hitting the ground running and very productive for the workday. If you do something similar, let me know down in the comments, or let me know how you end your workday or start your workday. Do you have routines? What do you like to do to kind of get your brain going? And if you're still curious about my life as an instructional designer working in tech, you can check out these videos right here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.